Hi guys, so this is just a quick and dirty video how to assign a title to an ISBN in the United States of America. If you bought your own ISBN through Bowker.com and now you want to get a title assigned to it as quickly as possible without digging too deep into the metadata, you can always go back and add details later. This is kind of like the bare minimum you need to do. So once you've already bought your titles, you're going to log in at myidentifiers.com. You're going to click over to My Identifiers, My ISBNs on the menu, and then you're going to find an ISBN number. It doesn't matter which one. If you want to try to kind of play around with the numbers and make them significant, feel free. It really doesn't matter what the ISBN number is. So I'm going to click on this button here, Assign Title. And you're going to come to this screen, Assign Your Book's Title data. And there's the ISBN number that you can now put in your book and in your barcode and all that. Now, again, this is the quick and dirty, so you're going to click on Short if it's not already chosen, and this just gives you the bare minimum you need. You do need a title. The Magic Halloween Witch. If you have a subtitle, you can certainly add it. If you want to add a series or volume or anything like that, you will need to click the advanced form. Again, we're doing quick and dirty. You can add a description, but it's not required. Remember that this is information that booksellers and book distributing websites will see, not the general public. So this is not going on your Amazon necessarily, or your Barnes & Noble or whatever. Requirement, medium, is it an audio, ebook, or print? Let's say it's a print book. Remember, you need a different ISBN for every medium. So if I make an ebook later, I'm going to need another ISBN. Or ebooks don't technically need ISBNs, but if I want to give it an ISBN, I can't use the same for two mediums. And format, hardback or paperback. If I do ebook, so notice when I change it, it's going to erase everything. If I do ebook, then it's going to ask me, is this digital online or is it electronic book text? It's probably going to be electronic book text, and then it's going to ask me what my format is. EPUB or Kindle are probably the two you're going to be using, maybe iBook. And audio, again, it's going to warn me that it's going to remove everything, and then format, is it CD, DVD, or downloadable? All right, boom. But this is going to be a print book. I get it. And it's going to be and then you do need to choose a genre, again, so booksellers have some idea what kind of book this is. Since I know a lot of you watching me are teachers, I'm going to draw your attention to education, which can cover educational materials as well as books about education. And I'm also going to bring you down to language and languages, study and teaching. So any study materials. As well as language arts. But there's a bunch of other things to choose from. Fiction, there's a lot of categories. And you can also choose a second genre. So I'm going to say that this is fiction. It's horror. It's a Halloween book. And my second genre is it's actually children's horror. Here you are allowed to do that. I know some other sites you can't choose a children's or young adults category and an adult category, but with Bowker you actually can, which is kind of nice. You are going to need to assign a contributor. This could be an organization or an individual, probably the author. So put in your author name. Yes, this can be your pen name. I do recommend if you want to be associated with all of your books, put your name in the exact same way. So if my author name was Walton L. Burns, I would always put in Walton L. Burns. I wouldn't put in Walton Burns ever. Or if you're known as WL, right? So you want to make sure that you're always doing the same name. So that people, libraries and bookstores and all that associate with the same thing. You can put in a little biography if you want to. I'm not sure what that does, to be honest. And then you're going to click author. You might want to add an illustrator. If you have an illustrator, you can add another person by clicking add another author contributor. So you might add an illustrator. Editor, I would only add an editor if it's a volume of collected works. So it's different essays or stories by different authors. And then there's one person who acted as an editor in the sense of soliciting those works, choosing which ones to go in, and and possibly doing the developmental or copy editing as well. But if it's an editor like a proofreader or developmental editor, you don't necessarily need to give them credit here. Give them credit in the book. But and you'll see there's a bunch of options if you want to do based on. That's always a good thing to do. Cover design, if you want to give the cover design choices, there's a ton of options. But there's a reason author, editor, and illustrator are at the top. It's probably going to be the ones you're going to be going with. This doesn't have any illustrations, so I'm going to cancel that. This is your publisher name. You can't change it. If you get on the advanced, you can list imprints. So my publishing company is Alphabet Publishing. I could start an imprint, which is to say a division in name only, called Scary Books, where I print all my scary books. You would write to Bowker to get them to add that to your list. But you don't have to. And then I need to choose a publication date. For self-publishing, I really don't think this much matters. But if you're setting a release day and you want the metadata to go out, you want it to kind of be reflected everywhere, set it as far in the future as you think you need to get your book released. I'm just going to do it for today because this is just a demonstration. Title status. So this is a book that I'm not ready to release yet, so I'm going to choose forthcoming. If I'm ready to release it, I'm going to do active record. Obviously, I'm going to switch that over soon when it does come out. And the only other one you really probably need to worry about is out of print. If you ever decide you want to take your book out of print, you don't want it to be sold anymore, then choose out of print. This is an active record. And finally, target audience, almost finally. You've got a lot of choices. Some of these are obviously educational or young adult. English as a second language is a good one to remember. Second language teaching is a good one. Any of the ones that mention education, that's going to mean educational materials for that grade level. And trade is, basically general audience, general fiction. So that's, if you're doing fiction, that's never a bad choice unless it's juvenile fiction or young adult fiction. This is just a fun Halloween story. And then you have to set a price in dollars. This is a $5 pulp fiction story. And then if I was doing this for real, I would click submit, and you would see that that my information is up there, and this ISBN is now officially registered to that title. If I go to Amazon, if I go to Ingram Spark, I want to make sure to use the title and other details exactly the way I entered them here. But that's all there is to it. Oh, and yeah, again, this is not necessary, but it's not a bad idea. I like to add a little cover because that goes out to the websites and it helps me keep track of things too. And if you want to get into more detail, you can click on that expanded and take a look in there. But this is all you need to do to get your book up and running. Hope that helps, and of course, let me know if you have any questions.